Okay, that's why this technique was developed with the same idea called crushing. The nomenclature has changed. Let's say it quickly, until we explain the professional lecture about the crash technique I told you about. What's it called? The classic crash, the original one, no one does it anymore except by mistake. If you're coming to pull the stent, it came out against your will. First, you put two stents at the same time. Yes, one in the side branch and one in the main vessel. Yes, you do a protolumen for the side branch, stent from 3 French and 5 millimeters. You need a 7 French catheter, okay? Then focus crushing or the side branch, stent by the main vessel, stent should be. What's it called? Classic crash. The modification after that, they told him. What did you do? You made a trapeze sail. Now, being a professional in catheterization means you shouldn't pull 3 to 5 millimeters. Don't be an amateur. What is the angle? The crash likes the narrow angle. It prefers 90, 80, 70, okay, 60. We'll talk about this point later, but the crash likes the narrow angle. So I'm not going to do a protolumen anywhere extra from the side branch to the main vessel. I'm going to do a crash for it. Look, this is the idea of the crash. I told him, okay, don't pull 3 to 5 millimeters. Just keep it from 2 to 3 millimeters. Try to reduce it. Why make the crash a big department? We're used to the basic rule. The smaller the metal, the better the arterial ratio plummeted. It was better in all situations. The risk of thrombosis and instant restenosis decreases. And both decrease. The promise becomes better. So, he said, look, I'm going to do the same technique and put 7 French and 2 stents at the same time and put a stent in the side branch and the main vessel. Focus on the first side branch. The main vessel of the side branch should be at a degree that some people don't realize. This stent should be. The stent is connected to the end filter. Some people get scared and tell you if you're doing the classic crash, use one end filter and make sure it's connected to the main side branch. Otherwise, if you use two and mess up and inflate the vessel, oh my God, you might have trapped the stent and caused a very silly complication. So I tell you, don't bring one. We saved it, so we use one. Anyway, we will use it again, and we will see this in the advanced talk. Just open one and connect it to one. We know this one is connected to the side branch. Keep this sentence in mind, and I'm telling you, if it happens to you, it will be a disaster. If it happens, how do you solve it? Among the complications, a simple issue is that I will connect an end filter to the side branch stent, as it is an end filter, on the side branch and inflate it. It will push the main vessel as if you just did something to the back. As if you did an SKS. As if you did an SKS. Then we will talk about the correction later. Be careful about this point. Classic crash, mini crash, both have one thing in common. The definition in your mind. But this is a protolumen from 3 to 5 millimeters. This is a protolumen from 2 to 3 millimeters. The man called it a mini crash. Okay, people started to work with radial and said, oh man, all the tones are getting smaller. Is it possible to work with your technique with 6 French guide? The catheter says, no, wait. The 6 French doesn't challenge 2 stents. It challenges 1 stent, but it doesn't challenge 2 stents together. Okay, so he says, absolutely. I'll tell you about a new invention. I'll tell you that instead of doing crushing for the side branch stent through the main vessel, pay attention. I put this stent for what purpose? To maintain access to the main vessel. If I brought this stent and inflated it, it would close off. On the main vessel, I put a stent so that after I close or open it and inflate the other one, we continue the steps and do a pot and do a crossing and everything. Okay, but here I'm going to crush this and do crushing for the side branch, stent through the main vessel. So, what did I benefit from this, doctor? I mean, I went through the steps. What did I benefit from this? I will pass the stent and the balloon from a 6 French catheter. So the access will be with a 6 French blade and a lot of things. Everything, of course, is not flexible. So I put a stent and brought a balloon, and then I inflated the stent and it protruded. Be careful, 2 to 3 millimeters. Forget about 3 to 5 millimeters. After it inflates, you pull its balloon and pull its wire, and then I do crushing through the balloon of the main vessel. So you entered the main vessel in step crash. I want to call it step mini crash, as you like. Okay, then the latest thing we are talking about is the double kissing. What does double kissing mean? Be careful, double kissing means what? Kissing. I told you from the beginning, after we put this stent, and after we put the stent in the main vessel, we must do the kissing. We must pass a wire from inside this stent, rails with the main vessel, and pass a wire from inside this stent, the main vessel, and bring the balloon. The step is to bring the balloon to the stent after that, and inflate both. So we are here, okay? Like existing, I must do it because I confirmed its stent. For the first time, I want to judge that it is the best kissing. First, I did kissing, and then I stopped, so we won't call it final kissing. So here I will tell you no, doctor. You know the part you did crushing on, and we won't understand this except with the stimulator and the visible heart. You won't understand it in this part. The part you did crushing on, you closed this part. You did it exactly like this. And then there are 2 layers crushed like this. So, the side branch, if we took a cut section, you did it like the world is closed in front of it. And you came and completed it by putting a stent here. So I tell you, wait. Be careful. Before the doctor, you bring the stent of the main vessel. After you do the crash. Please put a wire. Try to pass a wire. Where? In the side branch. Again you are pulling the wire after the stent. And then leave the wire of the main vessel. And then leave a balloon and expand it for all this material. But while you are expanding it, so it doesn't come on the main vessel, put a balloon here and do kissing. What is this? Kissing for the first time. And there is a stent in the side branch. Come on, let's erase. For the first, there is, and the main vessel is empty. A balloon and a main vessel without a stent. And a balloon inside the stent of the side branch. And after we put the stent in the main vessel, we will do a recrossing and do a second kiss. So it's called double kissing. Crash is very important. Double kissing benefits US in the prognosis and improves. It improves you instead of passing through 3 layers. No, if you open the side branch, you put 1 layer in front of it, so you. It's as if you are doing a recrossing of the 1 layer. And this is one of the most things done in studies, and one of the most things that can shock in everything. Here is the crash. What's the problem? Long steps. We will talk about the very important details in each step of this, because if you don't understand each step of this well, you won't be able to do it well, and it will lead to disasters until the end. Now, nano crash. All of them are from crash. All of them are protolumen from 2 to 3 millimeters, but these are crushing with the stent. And this crash is crushing with the balloon. So, what's the difference between this and that? How many times did you do the kissing? The nano crash, the whole idea in the nano crash is that we do a specific technique so that we do minimal protolumen, and 1 to 2 millimeters. What is this? We almost returned, doctor, like the tap light this over. We will explain the stent, and there is an inflated balloon in the main vessel, and you pull on it the stent.